See the fire in your eyes. See the fire in your eyes. See the fire in your eyes. See the fire in your eyes.
So, when people talk about the greatest characters in video games, Arthur Morgan is almost always part of that conversation. And honestly, if you've played Red Dead Redemption 2, you probably understand why. Because Arthur's story isn't just about being an outlaw, or robbing trains, or shooting people. It's actually about something a little deeper than that. It's about loyalty. And what happens when the person you've been loyal to your entire life starts becoming someone you don't even recognize anymore. So Arthur Morgan didn't exactly grow up in a great situation. His father was a criminal, constantly running from the law. Eventually he meets Dutch van der Linde. And honestly, that moment kind of changes everything for him. Dutch takes him in, raises him, gives him a place in the gang. And for Arthur, I mean, that meant everything. Because for the first time in his life, he actually had something that felt like family. Now, for years, the van der Linde gang lived this life that people kind of romanticize about. You know, robbing trains, robbing banks, moving from place to place, always staying one step ahead of the law. Dutch had this way of speaking that made everyone believe in him. He talked about freedom, about building a better life, about living outside the system. And Arthur believed every word of it. He became Dutch's most trusted man, basically the guy who handled the dangerous stuff. If something needed to be done, Arthur was the one doing it. But the thing is, the world around them was changing. The Wild West was slowly disappearing. Cities were growing. The law was getting stronger. And people like Arthur Morgan were becoming, well, kind of outdated. And that's when things in the gang started going wrong. Bad plans, bad decisions, people dying. And slowly, Dutch started changing too. At first, Arthur doesn't really want to see it. I mean, this is the man who raised him. But at some point, it becomes impossible to ignore. Dutch becomes more reckless, more desperate. And the gang that once felt like a family starts falling apart piece by piece. And then something happens that completely changes Arthur's perspective. He gets sick, tuberculosis, and yeah, back then, that was basically a death sentence. Arthur realizes that his time is running out, and suddenly he starts thinking about everything he's done in his life. All the violence, all the people he hurt, all the mistakes, and for the first time, Arthur Morgan really starts reflecting on who he is. But what's interesting is what happens next. Instead of becoming angry or bitter, Arthur actually starts trying to make things right. He helps people. He protects strangers. He starts doing things not for money, not for the gang, but because, well, it's the right thing to do. And most importantly, he tries to save John Marston. By this point, Arthur understands something very clearly. The gang is finished. Dutch has lost his way. And if John stays, he's going to die like the rest of them. So Arthur makes one final choice. He helps John escape, even though he knows it will probably cost him his life. And yeah, that's really the tragedy of Arthur Morgan. He spends most of his life being an outlaw, doing terrible things, following someone who eventually loses himself. But in the end, Arthur finds something that most people in that world never do: redemption. And honestly, that's why Arthur Morgan is remembered as one of the greatest characters in gaming. Not because he was perfect, but because when it really mattered, he tried to become a better man.
Really sorry for your son. It's a hell of a thing.
Our time is pretty much past.
May the wind be at your back. Good fortune touch your